Hello, Saskia, Devotional Goddess. How are you? I've been a little unwell. I picked up a virus from my travels. I wasn't sure what it was at first. I was witnessing my symptoms. First I thought it was jet lag. And I'm like, this doesn't feel, this is a really heavy fatigue. My body's fighting something. My body's trying to maintain balance and needs as much energy as it can to restore and to heal. So I began to retreat and allow myself that rest so that my body could do its healing work. I was eating a very clean diet. I cut out the sugar. That's my vice that I tend to go to. And I just made sure it was fresh, it was healthy, it was full of herbs and vitamins and nutrients in my food. And I also took my supplements, my herbal supplements, my, whatever it was that supported the immune system, was antiviral, antibacterial, and supported the immunity of the whole. So once I ruled out jet lag, I thought, oh, my throat, is it strep? So I was taking stuff for my throat. Throat is my place that it always hit me. My lower back and my throat. As human beings on our karmic journey, we're each going to have areas that will have a theme in our lives, because that theme is part of our soul contract. That theme is part of where our weakness lies and where we have the healing. And this drawing inwards, retreating, reflecting, holding is all part of witnessing our own blueprint. And what it is within our own blueprint that our healing journey has the nuggets. And how we can pause, how we can be more introspective, be it through journaling, be it through just asking questions and witnessing, to understand and to see when those signs present themselves. We have a new cat scampering across the floor. When those signs present themselves of like, oh, that's my warning sign. My symptom is percolating, is beginning to arise. How can I nip it in the bud? Right? Maybe our mothers may have already witnessed that within us, or parents, and they may already have guided you on this journey. They may not have been aware of what your traits were, or even how to support you in helping you to heal, other than taking you to the doctor, which is another way of supporting you. Right? So how does it look? How does it look within you? For me, it's my throat. For me, it's my lower back. And then as it unfolded, it was partly my breast cancer. So those are all, my lower back is my grounding. Where am I grounded? How am I grounded? Am I strengthening my body? The stronger my yoga practice is, the stronger my physical asana practice is, and my movement practice, the more stable my back is. My throat, this is my throat chakra. So in that practice of speaking up more, speaking my truth, fearlessly saying what I need to say, but from the heart, right? In the past, it was a sharp response, or it was a suppressed non-response. And I've really been cultivating that balance between the two and healing that throat chakra and allowing it to truly blossom. And one of my mentors said this week, she's like, Saskia, are you singing? Sing. I was like, oh, I love that. Talk about opening up the throat chakra. Find a song that you love and sing it. So I've been consciously doing that, and I know that's contributed to this healing this week. So what do you do when you're poorly? What do you do when you're not too well? When your physical body is giving you symptoms that it's run down, that your immunity isn't as vital as you would like it to be, what is it for you? And as human beings, it's not always easy for us to slow down. Some cultures embrace it more than others. In the West here, it's not. And I don't always find it easy. But this trip, this last journey of healing, I really lent into it. I allowed myself to let go, to say to work, I'm not well. I'll be out this week or the next 3 days, 4 days. And I kept them abreast as to when I could get back to work. And I honored it. I surrendered the anxiety that came from, oh my God, if you're not working, that creates fear of financial strain or financial limitation, possibly. I was like, no, I'm not investing in that. I'm letting that go. I'm being held. I'm holding the space for me, and I know I'm being held by God. And I'm surrendering into that. I want to trust, and I want to embody this trust. And it means walking through my discomforts, walking through my limiting beliefs of how I'm held or how I'm not held. So it was it turned it round to be exciting, of like, no, I'm going to be all right with this. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to be held. Now, the other part of it was the memories that came back. When I first was recovering post-chemo and I was rebuilding my strength, my physical strength, my emotional strength, my mental strength, I was coming back. And in that, honestly, it took about 3 years to feel physically strong again and be like, nope, I'm ready to take on a full work schedule again. I'm ready to step back and rebuild my business in the larger capacity that I know I can. But within that first year, I did pick up a head cold or a virus, or I forget what it was right now. But the fear that rose when I was first sick, post-chemo, post-cancer treatment, as the trauma rose from that period of being bedridden, needing to rest, feeling so battered and bruised emotionally, mentally, physically, all of it, it came up to the surface. Excuse me. And initially when I was sick, the resistance that came up of like, no, I cannot be sick. I am gotta move through this. This is not okay. And just the pushback that I felt within, and the anger and the sadness and the fear that rose because of all that trauma that had so recently happened. And it made me aware of, wait. You're not going to be in bed for 3-4 months. You're not going to be wiped out for days on end. This isn't chemo. This is just a head cold. This is just a slight fever. Your body is upgrading. Your body is having an opportunity to heal. It's okay. This isn't what it was from the past. And I needed to allow myself to pause and be cognizant of what I was feeling, to support that rewriting and the honoring that this was what was happening in the moment. It wasn't a repeat of the past. And that acknowledgement and that connection allowed me to surrender into whatever that sickness was in that moment. And I will say that whenever I am ill, whenever I am poorly, whenever my immune system is needing a reboot, that is exactly how I see it. I see it as a reboot. I see it as an opportunity for healing, and that it's my body's way of letting go of an old paradigm that I may have been holding, knowing that it's time for a shedding and a time for a rebirth. And I knew that's what the cancer journey was too. I knew that it was an awakening and a time of release from an old toxicity that I had allowed in. Because the dis-ease within my body was also, as it was on my left side, my feminine, my divine feminine, it was also a releasing of old patterns, of where I had allowed people and toxic people who didn't honor my boundaries, who were quite happy to take advantage of what I had to offer in my love, in my affections, in my holding space. And my inability, more importantly, to set boundaries. My inability not to be able to either say or energetically set boundaries. And that was part of my learning curve. That was part of my healing journey through the cancer, was to set stronger boundaries and say, no, 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 I'm not tolerating this behavior. I'm physically removing myself from this relationship and or verbalizing what was appropriate and what was not. And it was a rebirth. The cancer journey was a rebirth. And I rebirthed to the here and now. Sometimes it's a rebirth in the soul exiting this earthly plane and going home to our soul home. So however the cancer comes, it is a rebirth. And it is a very hard transition, but illuminating in so many ways as well. So finding that stillness within to be able to sit with the knowing that this is a healing. We don't even have to know in the moment what it is. Don't rack your brains. You might be very clear on, oh, I know what this is all about. I'm letting go of. But we don't always need to know. What was interesting this last viral attack, I dreamt that I was in my childhood home and I was clearing out. So that's so symbolic of the inner child work, of purging, of letting go of that childhood wounding and some of the stories from the childhood that we can hold on to and carry forth and have that child wounding within us. And just now allowing it without even knowing or needing to know what the specifics were in what my woundings were. We don't always need to know that. Just know, and just knowing that there has been a release. And in doing so, really what we're aware of and what we're focusing on and embracing is that larger embodiment of who we are as a healed human, as a healed woman, as a healed devotional goddess, coming closer to that divine imprint that is within each of us, that devotional goddess that resides within us, because that is just who we are in essence. The brilliance of who we each are as a unique soul, and coming to understand and coming to remember and undo all those old beliefs as to who we thought we may be, that are wounded, that are hurt. That's not who we are. Those are part of our journey that has supported us through pain and suffering sometimes, because honestly, being a human being, we can be very thick-skinned. If we were enlightened beings, we wouldn't need the pain and suffering to learn our lessons. But as the pearl in the shell needs that constant rubbing to become the pearl, to become that beautiful orb within the shell that glistens and that is radiant and iridescent. Sometimes we need to be rubbed up against, and sometimes that looks like pain and suffering. Not always, but often it can. But that's what really supports that pivotal shift, because there's no other way out. And that's what makes the catalyst to the change often. So when you are sick next, when you witness that your immune system is deficient, can you retreat? Can you withdraw emotionally, energetically? Allow your energy to draw inwards so you can conserve it. It doesn't mean sitting on the couch and watching TV, because maybe for a bit of the day, but when the girls are not well and they're home with me for a day, they know that they may have a fraction of a time behind the television, but it's not a day where they get to sit on the couch and watch TV all day. Because even that is you giving your energy out to a screen, you engaging and being in relationship with a story that is being told on the television, on the computer, on the phone, on the tablet, whatever device that we're on, we're still engaging, our energy is still going outwards. And when we are not well, we need to be resting, we need to be sleeping, we need to be doing activities that can allow us and to support us to heal from within, and for us to reclaim our energy and draw it inwards. This is why our morning meditation practice is so powerful every day in supporting us to draw our senses inwards, to contain from within, so that we already have that deep connection to our soul, to our inner wisdom, and to God. And in doing so, we are connecting to our godlike self, to the spark of God that we are, to that inner devotional goddess that resides within each of us. And we come back to this remembering who we are and how magnificent we truly are. And when we become aware of the moments where we're not witnessing and connect it to our true magnificence. That's where we get to heal the parts of ourselves that are wounded, that are hurting, and that are telling us this is where we are misaligned, and this is where we can create the healing. Give yourself the time when you are not well to heal, to reflect. This is the honoring. This is the healing. And this is the love that we give to ourselves. And giving that love to ourselves of stillness, of anchoring, this is where we begin to expand that reverence, that respect, and that honoring of the greatness and the beauty of who we truly are. And this is that journey. If you wish to expand your knowledge of that journey, I mentor, I work with my clients in remembering their own unique divine goddess spark. Much love. And I wish you a healed, healthy rest of the day and week, month, and year ahead. Much love. See you soon.